Hi Esther,
Hi.
thank you so much for coming down
My
and
pleasure.
chatting all things about your upcoming tour there on the air. But before we get into that, first of all I want to talk about the first time when we met, which was at Zimmer vs Williams show. It's a plug for one of our other concerts that we do, to throw it in there. And I was like filming some content for you in the
Of course, I do remember
stuff.
in the backstage. Yeah.
And you were
I hope you're okay.
Yeah, it was all good. It was all good fun. Yeah, I know. We were sitting there, and I was there dropping you the stuff.
I remember that. Oh yeah, it was
funny.
at the Royal Festival Hall, wasn't it?
Yeah,
that was a nice concert.
Oh no, it was great, and you were fantastic in the concert.
Thank you so much.
It was awesome. Moving straight on to, I think we should talk about your pre-performance routine, because I personally want to know a bit more about that myself, just because I've seen kind of a bit of the behind the scenes when you're just kind of chilling out and stuff, and obviously we've had a few chats, but describe to us your pre-performance routine.
I usually like to have a calm environment. I will be a little bit antisocial usually just before I play. I just like no noise, no music. And I'll usually do some stretching, maybe a bit of yoga in my dressing room, and kind of get ready just calmly. Basically, obviously before performance, you of course have a bit of nerves, and so anything that I can do to just be in a calm it down,
relaxed,
breathe.
Zen.
Exactly. I'll eat the banana. I know it's like a thing that a lot of performers do. I do that. I don't know if it's mental or if it actually does something. I haven't worked it out.
I've had a few others that I've spoken to have done the same with the banana.
Yeah, it's a thing.
Yeah, it's a thing.
But yeah, I'll probably also be filming some like behind the scenes content usually, or asking people to do it, including you like last time. But I'll try and always. I love showing obviously the behind the scenes of things. So I guess that's the hardest part, is just also when you're kind of nervous about the concert, still being ready to film, ready to have all of this content and to mix the two together, but you also have to warm up, of course. So it's quite a lot.
You've got all these different bits going on, haven't you? You've got to focus on, you hit all of it so you can capture it.
Exactly, but I want to do it because, as you say, a lot of people don't know what's going on behind the scene, and how do you feel just before a concert, and so I think it's an interesting aspect to show people, but you also have to be ready to do it before the concert when you have 1,000 things on your mind.
That kind of moves on to why should audiences engage in 2023 in classical music. I think you're kind of nailing it on the head, because of I mean they do show a lot of the behind the scenes, but I know from looking at your socials you show a lot of the behind the scenes, plus you show some of your live performances as well. But why, from those aspects, why do you think more people should get involved in listening to classical music or coming to the concerts? And
I think what 2023, and actually from kind of 2020 and 2021 has shown, is a huge increase of younger people listening to classical music due to TikTok and social media like that. The reason why is that they've obviously been in contact with it in a very natural way, and been shown it in a way that is fun, that is accessible, that is approachable, and that makes all the difference. And when we see that, when it is shown like that, they enjoy it, they love it, they like the music. When we have videos to show you that how fun is classical music to listen to, how it can touch you emotionally, people can relate to that. And so I think the reason why they should engage is the fact that the music can touch them, can make them feel emotion that they won't get in other style of music. Every style of music is different and will bring you something, but classical music has something that other styles of music can't bring you, and not engaging with it, you're losing something huge there. And I think people are realizing this, and younger people are realizing this when they listen to, even if it's super famous thing that they'll have listened on TikTok, and they can feel the emotion if you show them in the right way. And I guess the next step and the next challenge is bring these people who are listening to it on TikTok, on Spotify, for them to actually buy a ticket and go to a concert listening to it. That's the next step.
100%, and I think you showcase those elements really well on your socials, and you've given more and more of that kind of like in-depth view on just how much scope and space there is for classical music, not from just sitting there like listening to it, watching it, feeling it, but behind the scenes and stuff that you do. When you relax, when you're not performing, do you listen to classical music? Or is this when you flip it and you listen to heavy metal music? Just to kind of like flip it on its head and you're like, I listen to death metal, I listen to this.
It's not that far from the truth, to be honest.
Oh, really?
No, I listen to all kind of music. I like rock music, but I like jazz. I like listening to all different styles of music. I'm really open. Whenever I go to a different country, I actually usually ask the people like, what's the kind of local groups that you listen to here and local bands and stuff. So I'm very open to that, and I love listening to new styles. I don't listen only to classical music. Actually, funny enough, because I play it all day, sometimes you just want to listen to something else. But I do also love listening to it. It depends on what mood I am in. But I don't know what I do when I'm not performing or practicing. I don't have that much time. I spend a lot of time also creating content, which I love, but creating the content, editing it, etc. But otherwise I try and make time for my friends, my family, my partner, etc. And then also I go to the gym a lot. I love doing sports. I love the outside. I love nature. I was born in the countryside, so I kind of grew up in this environment. So I love being out and spending time with my cats. I love animals. So a lot of my time when I do have free time is like, I don't like a heavenly day for me is literally just like sitting outside with a book, with my cats around and my family, and just having a calm day like that. Like that's,
I love that.
Just pure joy.
How many cats do you have?
It varies. It varies because they come and go, and I help with charity, so a lot of the time I would take them in and then take care of them for a while, and then they go to a new family and stuff, so it varies.
Any cool cat names?
I always name them with musical names. So
I love that.
we had Ravel, we had Remila, so with like notes names. So I always try and give them musical names. And usually I ask people as well on my social media to help me with the names. It's always
that's
fun.
Brilliant. I'm going to look out for the next one and put some name suggestions in. Let's move on to biggest challenges performing.
I guess one challenge is obviously that you want people to experience something, and I don't know, for me personally, I really want when people to come and see me that they have the best experience possible, and that they actually, having a great evening. And also, I guess what I said before is the fact that my biggest goal is to be able to transform the people who follow me on social media to actual concert goers. And of course, this is this element of risk in that, in a way of you thinking, these people follow me, they support me on there, are they going to go and support me as well live? And you always obviously have that little bit of it's not a stress, but you obviously you want that to happen. So I guess that's probably the biggest challenge as well, as I said, for people who will follow you who are not used to going to classical concert, to actually create a new habit, something new, to say actually they're convinced enough to actually do something that they're not used to and go to a type of concert that they're not used to. Hopefully, I'm hoping to bring a type of classical concert that's not similar to the other one, that's much more open and that's much more accessible. But still, so I guess that's probably the biggest challenge.
And I feel like TikTok is kind of helping beat that challenge already, because of it's introducing classical to a younger audience, and they're seeing more stuff in that kind of short form content that gets their attention, and then they potentially will go and see it more.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
Thank you very much, TikTok, for describe your performing style in 3 words or more than 3 words. It doesn't have to be 3 words. It can be as much as you want. You have to go just 3 words and move on. It can be.
I guess one of them would be communicative. I love communicating with the audience. Whenever I play, I'll always also try and explain to the audience what I'm playing, why, what does it mean, what emotion, etc. So communicative is one. Expressive. Generally, I love pieces that are very melodic and with a lot of emotions into it. And honest, I think, is that one. I try and always be very down to earth and human and honest, and not have this idea of just like perfection from far away and you see it in a box and all is ready. I try and be very, very human. I mean, so many times before I perform, I say a few words, even in kind of concerto type thing with the whole orchestra behind it. I say a few words and I'll say to the audience, like, I'm a bit nervous, so like bear with me. I'm going to talk to you to like feel a bit more comfortable, and they love it. It's just being honest and being human, I guess.
So moving on to the tour that we've got later this year, what can audience expect from that?
Well, they can expect pieces of music from my last album. So that's going to be a lot of film music. But I'll also be playing some other pieces from my first album, and generally pieces that I love and I wanna show them. I think the one thing is that there'll be loads of different types of pieces, and so hopefully something for everyone to like and enjoy.
And I know you've been talking a lot about it today, but you have a new album coming out called
Yes.
Cinema, which I'm very excited for. Can you describe that as well, of what, any favourite pieces that you just want to kind of name drop now? Just
For sure. Yeah, so it's album Cinema, so obviously all around film music. I've selected some of my favorite movie scores, things like Hunger Games, for example,
Awesome.
but also sometimes films that kind of really marked me as a child. For example, there's a French movie called Les Choristes, which I absolutely fell in love with when I was younger. There's also movies, for example, there's also music from the show The Witcher, which again I love. So yeah, a real mix, but all things that I love and I can't wait sharing.
Amazing. On the Witcher note, because they're changing cast, aren't they?
Yeah.
Are you really upset that they're changing cast from Henry Cavill to Liam Hemsworth?
I don't know. We have to see. I mean, it's coming out in quite soon, actually.
I think
isn't
so.
it? Oh, what is it? In a few months.
It could be. I can't remember off the top of my head,
so let's see.
let's see.
I'm not gonna.
You've got to wait, because I really enjoyed it with Henry Cavill.
Yeah.
Now they're going to change it. So I'm not too sure. Well, no, thank you for coming and chatting with us, and
My pleasure.
very excited for the tour. It's going to be great.
Yeah,
I'm going to be there.
Me too. I can't wait.
And the new album as well.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching this episode of Spotlight. Make sure to follow, like, and subscribe.